Another day, another adventure.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for an adventure?
No.
Are you ready for an adventure?
Just
Is that our
freaking start
title?
it.
That's the title. That's the title, right, of the show?
Yes, that's the title of the show.
Oh, okay.
This is a great
I'm
beginning.
sorry.
Okay, title music.
Welcome to the podcast. I am Eric.
I'm the host, so I should be telling them who I am first.
Fine. Well, you weren't saying anything.
You didn't give me a chance to say anything. Fine. I'm Colton.
I'm Eric. Also, my online name is Zelda's Hero, but I'll get to that sometime in my life. Who knows? But anyway.
And I'm John.
He's John. We're here to talk about Dragon Ball. We're not gonna like recap the manga per se. We'll maybe give a short summary just so people know what we're talking about. But we're basically just gonna give a short summary of the chapter because what I intend to do is to cover
What we intend to do.
What we intend to do.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. is we're going to talk about a single chapter per episode and probably overanalyze. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because I don't know how we're gonna overanalyze the first few chapters. There's,
Yeah, I think it might be pretty easy too. I have a few notes. I have a few discussion points that we can do. But we're basically just gonna review the chapter. Talk about whether we like it or not. What we like, what we don't like. Basic stuff like that. So,
okay. So,
are you ready?
start off with the first question, I guess.
Well, not necessarily question, but
Yeah, we're not being asked anything because we're not.
This isn't a Q&A. We don't. Okay. What color are your socks today, Eric?
That's a lot of colors.
They are yellow, and they're solid black. The heel and the foot is yellow. Well, like where the toes are, that's yellow. And then there's little stars all over it.
I find it funny that you
What the
actually
hell
answered
does
the
this have to do
question.
with Dragon Ball?
I don't know. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, what's the fucking point of that?
It's funny. People
It's
might
not funny because
people-
they want to listen to Dragon Ball.
People what?
people might actually think this is funny.
I don't know.
They
Hey,
might have very sick sense of humor.
Eager Raptor and JonTron don't think they're funny, but they're actually hysterical, so...
That's
Yeah,
the second
please.
time you've referenced this.
Okay, let's
You
go.
need to stop
Okay.
referencing game.
Our story starts off with the introduction of a very strange young boy named Son Goku, who we learn throughout this first chapter is very abnormally strong and lives alone in the forest. Meanwhile, a teenage girl named Bulma is on a quest to collect mystical objects called Dragon Balls, which will grant a wish to whomever gathers all 7. Bulma runs into Goku, who happens to have the 4-star Dragon Ball as a memento of his dead grandfather, and persuades him to help her find the rest. Goku begins his quest with Bulma, but not before he has to save her from a giant pterodactyl. So, I'm not sure about, at least in the Viz Big version here, they do keep some of the color pages, not all of them. But
Yeah, this is...
They're just like, hey, colors, lazy.
no, I actually really like the colors.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've seen them.
I
I
know.
flipped open that book literally 5 minutes before we started recording this, but...
So-
Really nice color.
Gray most of the time.
So are we in agreement that we like the colors?
Yes, colors are beautiful because
Yeah.
if it was just gray, it'd be just like every other.
It's done a good
manga.
job.
I personally really like Toriyama's backgrounds, like with the mountains and the trees.
You know,
and the forests.
I was reading the end of the book, and actually, Toriyama does not do the backgrounds. It's one of his assistants that come over.
Huh, I actually didn't know that.
Well, either way, Toriyama's helper is very good at doing background animations.
Huge.
Well,
Animation. It's-
Drawings.
And another
Because
thing,
this is a motion comic.
another
Yeah.
thing he does
The flip book.
He does I think a page a week, or was it a chapter a week? I'm not
I
sure.
think it's a chapter. It might be.
It was-
He would draw the characters and then have his assistant draw the backgrounds when he came over.
Probably a chapter.
He did do a chapter a week because Dragon Ball used to be a weekly series. He probably did like maybe
Page a day, maybe?
page a day. Probably, yeah, that sounds about right. Because I know he had some kind of schedule where he'd basically use 20% of the week to work on the chapter, and the other 80% he'd just fuck around.
Oh, that'd be a nice job.
Yeah, actually, it would be just to draw all day. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, except you have to keep up with a weekly schedule. You got to pump out a chapter like every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the only. See, I think it wouldn't be that bad if you kind of had the general idea to begin with, and then you kind of. If you had like the general idea to begin with, and then you just kind of started pouring out, it wouldn't be that bad. But to have to come up with new, fresh material every day, that'd be the tricky part for me, at least.
You know what else is funny?
Unless you're like Oda from One Piece, who actually plans out a lot of his story,
Which is crazy, especially with how far you may have gotten into it.
Well, back to Dragon Ball.
Well, One Piece is relevant. Without Dragon Ball,
Well,
there'd be no
I
One
guess
Piece.
so. But there's another thing where he found a stray cat and it was raining night, so he let him stay in for a little bit. And so his assistant is completely frightened of cats. So it was a really funny week for him.
That sounds really wacky.
So I actually don't know, but how did you get into Dragon Ball, John?
Dragon Ball. Well, he gave me the manga and was just like, "Cool, I'll just read it." But like, I first started with Dragon Ball Z. I don't know when it was, but I remember when it was still on Cartoon Network before Toonami. And I started at probably like the middle of Namek.
Oh, okay. That's a good that's a good place to start it.
I think I started around there too.
And how'd you get into it? Like,
I just caught it on TV when I was like in second grade, maybe first.
Probably.
Because I remember watching the Goku versus Frieza fight on. I'm pretty sure it was on Toonami by
you were
then.
like, fuck.
Yeah, I was
First
like,
thing I saw was like the decimation of the Ginyu Force, and I was like, "This show is funny."
yeah,
That's awesome.
I really like the Namek arc, but we probably won't get to that for another 100 episodes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a minority because I got into it not from the anime, but from the game. Because I had a friend at school who gave me Legacy of Goku 2.
Oh, I played that game. That was after I played. That's after I watched Dragon Ball. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, this game must be awesome."
I played the game and was like, holy crap, this is awesome. What is this? And so he told me about the series, and then I started getting into it and went from there. So I got into it from the games, not the anime, which is very interesting.
It's very.
I'm a minority.
Just a little side note. I feel like that's how a lot of people are getting into the series this time around, is through the games.
Nowadays, I can agree with that. Yeah,
What do
with
you
how
mean?
video games are huge.
If it's not through the video games, it's through Kai. I'm not sure if you'd agree.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know now, but I mean, everybody I talk to knows about Dragon Ball Z. If they don't, I will punch them in the face, and I will
Actually,
say, "Hey,
We won't punch you.
I know a few people from Merrimack who got into it from Abridged. So
yeah, there's also Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I forget how much of a fan base that has.
that is an amazing series."
So yeah.
But anyway, expect a few references to the Abridged series on this podcast.
Yeah.
We all love the Abridged series. Anyway, enough about the art. What do you think of the first fight in the series? Goku versus Fish.
I felt bad for the fish. What did he do, man?
Well, fish is food, and people. It's about survival. It's not about he's bullying the fish. He needs to eat.
I'm not going down that path. I'm not that kind of freaking weirdo.
Fucking PETA.
But yeah, fucking PETA. Eepa.
Well, the fish is kind of antagonistic, if that's a word. And he's kind of like, I'm going to eat you.
You're not going to eat me.
His face is pretty evil looking. He's like, "Arr."
And he's got sharp teeth. He's got sharp teeth, so
obviously he's a bad guy. I mean,
clearly he's evil. I think the fish is a very...
See, Goku being all good and stuff would not go after a good fish. He would go, he's like, yeah, it is an evil fish. I must eat that fish.
Except at this point he's very naive, so I don't think he really knows the difference between right and wrong and good and evil at this point, obviously. So I think we find
from a lot of the things he's done with his questionable intelligence.
Well, he's... Because we find out in the first chapter that he's been living in the mountains all his life. At this point, he doesn't know anything about civilization.
Of course.
He's heard of, like, cars and stuff, but other than that, he doesn't really know much.
Yeah, he's pretty much your, I guess, classic, just kind of out in the country, kind of doesn't really keep up with...
He's a hick. He's a hick.
Okay, well, that's a little offensive. But...
No, it's not. Well, he is, because he lives in the mountains and he doesn't know...
You don't call him a hick.
He's a 2D
dick.
that rhymes. No one's gonna think we're funny.
Well, I don't want our fan.
So he's a
that's a very strong word.
We have a fan base.
Just say it.
I don't want our potential fan base to be offended by your jerkisms.
That's probably like a guy sitting in a chair going, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah, he's like, "Oh my god."
Someone's yelling at their iPod, and they're pausing it, and then they're gonna throw their iPod at the wall. Just so they don't have to listen. Like, fuck this shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
I think the fish is a very complex character.
Okay.
Let's just leave it at that.
Explain to that to me, Cole.
How about
What
we
is
just-
so complex?
It's
about
a
the fish?
joke.
How about we talk about Bulma's name meaning bloomers in
Dude,
Japan?
because it's
I think that hold on, that's why I said something.
Yeah.
I think that sets a very strong tone for the first few volumes in the series with how like
Bulma's name.
innuendo oriented they are.
You mean
But girl
Bulma's
appears,
Bulma's
guys
name pun?
finally get attracted to her.
Yeah, just like with one of the main characters coming in and her name meaning panties, basically. I think that sets a very ironic tone for the rest of like probably the next 2 books
because
with how sexual oriented they are.
because Bulma technically isn't actually how you pronounce her name. Because people, I feel like people just call her Bulma because it's written like that on her shirt.
Yeah.
So is
And,
it Bulma?
Huh?
How's it pronounced then?
It's I've taken Japanese class, so I actually know how to. I know how to pronounce these words. Quit antagonizing me on
So
my own podcast.
do it then.
I am. God. It's pronounced Buruma.
Bloomer.
Buruma.
Ballooma.
Like think of balloon, except with the at the end.
But what kind of? It's like it has Bulma, so it goes blue. There's like a silent O
I don't
that's
know.
hidden itself.
I feel like Bulma's just it's much more natural when it comes to
Bulma.
off the tongue.
Yeah,
It's-
Baloo. It's like you
especially-
have to make sure you have to say it right, like if it's a Spanish word. Ballooma.
Are you a whale now?
Blue.
Okay, why is Bulma only wearing one glove? Actually, I thought about that.
Cause
I think that's a
maybe
Michael
people-
Jackson reference.
really, that's
Well, think about it. This was made in the 80s, right? yeah,
1984
Right.
Maybe wearing one
So-
glove with style.
something.
Maybe, but
it's her glove. It's her gun holding hand. Which why does she have a gun in the first place?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You said it
maybe.
was 84, so
What if it's a reference
to be completely
Star Wars?
honest, I don't know my timeline
Like
of Michael Jackson. so.
Luke had one glove. That was first lightsaber.
Maybe Toriyama.
It was like a really dumb reference or
Well,
something.
no, he had that one glove because he had a robot hand.
Right, but it's still a glove.
Yeah, but just cover up the hand. It wasn't because.
Maybe there's something wrong with her hand.
She secretly has a robot. Her dad probably built it for her because she probably got into like some kind of some kind of accident.
Cyborgism.
She's secretly
augmented.
No, she's diminished.
I never asked for this.
Which
Somehow
which will
referencing Deus Ex.
I want to bring this up. We'll see this later in the series, but I feel like Bulma's parents aren't exactly the most responsible.
They're
don't-
horrible parents.
Yeah, because her dad,
Just let her go off, find the Dragon Balls.
just let her does whatever.
The only thing
hell
your
she
mom
wants.
does is bake fucking cookies and say, "Here,
And-
have some."
and
God, that's
and-
the point
and
why
hit-
she's not fat.
and also hit on all of her friends.
Yeah.
Oh, and like Bulma is always just like, I can't live without my capsules and spoiled and all that crap.
Oh yeah, I mean it's understandable. She is kind of the heiress to a let's assume multi-million
Typical high
dollar
school.
Company.
Yeah, basically.
But
I'm trying to think of it now.
I also I took note of this while I was reading, but she says she found a Dragon Ball in her cellar.
Which is interesting.
How the hell does that work?
That's something I wanted to bring up about.
Because the Dragon Balls are supposed to go zoom, so all of a sudden in her house.
No, that's
No, that's
Or did somebody
that's
did somebody find
yeah.
it?
The Dragon Balls choose where they want to go.
yeah.
They wanted to go to a 16-year-old girl's cellar
It's.
Of course.
because the Dragon Balls have.
I'm glaring at Colton right now.
they have
He just
a-
had to bring up 16-year-old girl.
Well, she is a 16-year-old girl.
Now
Makes
back
so
to Dragon Ball, somebody must have like saw it, took it
See,
in.
what my theory is, we know the Dr. Brace is a scientist, so maybe he was out like researching stuff and he found it.
Well, look at this
and,
thing.
Probably, yeah.
that seems to be the most likely explanation.
But that's what I really like about the
Wait, how many
franchise
stars
in
did it
general is
How many stars did it have on it?
How many stars did it have?
I don't know. Let me look. Let me look really quickly.
Then I'm gonna guess she had the 6 star.
Yada 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 yada.
I think she had the 6 star. I think I'm wrong
She
though. Hold on, wait,
had
it's right here, right here.
where?
You just passed it up.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Next one.
Uh,
There. Oh, she's the 5 star.
she has Oh, she found one of them.
Well, I mean, maybe the stars on the thing is like some sort of.
She said she found one in her cellar.
Which one?
Oh,
She found the 2 star in their cellar.
I don't know. She doesn't really specifically say. It could have been either one of them here that she's holding.
I disagree, because she's holding up the 2 whenever she says she found it in the cellar. So
Yeah, but she's
would've
just
thought
kind of looking
that,
at them.
Like people who get the balls like at first
the stars represent something of them.
Wait, say that again?
Like, the people who first appear with the ball. Like, Goku's is 4, and then hers is 2. Like,
So you think like maybe they represent the character in a way?
Yeah.
The numbers?
Because throughout the series, like, Goku holds on to the 4 ball because it's Grandpa Gohan's, and something has to do with number 4.
I don't.
Japan is bad because 4 is the number of death.
Well,
Grandpa Gohan dies.
Yeah, he got crushed by his
4-star ball.
He got crushed by his adoptive son's foot. So
I think I see what you're saying, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's still kind of stretching it a bit.
how would 2 represent Bulma? Because she has 2 holes.
Or two boobs. Or that's
Considering how short her skirt is in the very opening when we see her, I wouldn't be surprised if 2 did represent her boobs.
probably. I don't know. I like this theory anyway. But I was gonna try to say what I like about the series is that there's so many different situations where you can make your own what if scenario out of, and there's really no indication of in the story where I mean or how that Dragon Ball ended up in her cellar. It could have come from anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, but I still like to theorize that her dad got it. I mean, it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I
even
mean,
her
how else
grandparents.
could you explain it?
I don't know. So one of her family members probably found it, and
An
maybe
ancestor?
maybe it used to be a family heirloom. I don't know.
I mean, I think we can also. Well,
There's a
I don't
lot
know.
of that throughout the series.
I was gonna say maybe we can assume the Dragon Balls haven't been used for a really long time, but that's
Right.
not true because. But that might not be true because I mean they always do it in secret in the first place. So how do you know they haven't been done in secret?
Because the sky
beforehand?
always turned black, so they'd be like, "Oh, look at Dragon Ball."
I don't think we have any indication of like when the last time the Dragon Balls were used before they
don't.
appeared.
don't
Yeah.
explain.
So
We don't, but
yeah. So it's probably not any use. But anyway, what do you think of Bulma as a character?
she's kind of
So
bratty
far.
at first.
She's a nice contrast to Goku.
Yeah, she's like the spoiled, bratty city kid, and Goku's the humble, doesn't really know what's going on, country kid.
Yeah, and he's also like, okay, I'll just do it just because I can, you know. I don't
Just
really
because I
care.
feel like it, and I like going on adventures.
Yeah, he's unselfish. He'll do it because he wants to help out. Bulma's doing it for her own once. So
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not sure if Goku's really that caring at this point. I think he's just kind of doing it just
okay,
because.
well, I'm
He does
not
for
saying
food.
he's specifically caring, but he's also not being selfish.
Right.
He's not
Yeah.
going out to hunt Dragon Balls because he wants power. Whereas she's doing it for I think like money and guys.
Because she mentions
She's like, her favorite wish was like to have the best boyfriend ever.
Yeah.
because she says in the chapter that your grandpa told you to be nice to girls, huh? So that means you have to do whatever they want.
Exactly.
And he's just kind of like, well, okay, if my grandpa told me to, I might as well do it.
Yeah, she's kind of actually exploiting him almost in a way.
Um,
Poor Goku.
I think I wanted to maybe mention this to you, Eric. Do you think maybe Bulma's character is maybe the inspiration for Nami in One Piece?
I can definitely see a few
Yes.
Because
connections.
because obviously Nami, when you first see her in One Piece, is very. She basically uses Luffy as bait to draw out Buggy so she can grab his map and stuff.
Which is exactly what Bulma does with Dragon Balls. So
And
with Goku.
and for those who don't know, it's no surprise if you read One Piece and you like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was obviously the inspiration for One Piece.
Same
So-
author. No, not same author. Sorry. Wow. Not what I meant.
Wow.
Toriyama is secretly writing One Piece.
Yeah.
He's a good writer when he actually tries all along.
Same type of inspirational areas.
Because
Same.
Oda is a giant fan of Toriyama. We
Yeah.
know this for a fact.
Hey, who wouldn't be?
But yeah, I think Bulma's character is very one.
Put
well,
offish.
I honestly, everybody's character is very one-dimensional at this point. So
Contrast in time periods. That's another interesting one.
What's that?
contrast in
Futuristic with dinosaurs.
because
that
we
is
see
weird.
because we see that they have a very advanced type of technology, but there are still like pterodactyls and giant animals just roaming around in the
That
forest.
seems to only be a problem in the country, though. They might have had a system in the city where they just drove the animals back out in the wildland. They actually kept, like, a conservation of them.
See, what I like is, I feel like, okay, remember again, this was made in '84, so I feel like at that time that might have been a fairly new concept, is kind of mixing the two.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
obviously, for a long time, you kind of only had future or past, but with this, at least in anime and cartoons, they kind of tried to meld them together, which I thought was really cool. I mean, again, it's '84, so having pterodactyls with these capsule thingies is probably pretty new.
I feel
concept.
like another series that I want to mention, Toriko actually does the same thing where their cities are very not really futuristic, but you have civilizations, people living in cities and stuff, but you still have these giant fucking animals, giant man-eating animals just roaming around in forests and stuff.
What?
Well, if you've watched Toriko, you'd know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Me and John have not, in fact.
well,
watched that
you've
show.
you've seen a little bit of it, but not enough.
Yeah, I saw one episode.
But anyway, I just thought it was something interesting to point out. But I'm sure nobody cares. But anyway,
No one cares.
no one cares. What do you think about the capsules?
They're
Pretty
cool.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
you can
like
take your
this
whole
big,
house
huge
with you.
home that you live in, and then it's like a Pokeball for your consumer needs.
I
For
like
your
that.
consumer needs.
For
Yes.
your for all your
Store
consumer
your
needs.
freaking pizza. Like, oh man, I can't put this in my refrigerator. Capsule. You have like the freezing type of capsule for food. There's all different kinds. It's just the future of living.
The capsules are really cool. I would agree to that.
Hmm.
I mean, come on. If you had a capsule and if you had to, okay, for example, you went down to Florida, last week, and you could just pop your whole house and family in the capsule and take them down.
Well,
Fucking
not
awesome.
the family. That'd be kind of weird.
Like, what would it be like if you captured a human and put him in the capsule?
Well, see. Well, for some of the technologies in the series, the actual technology is made for being compressed, so you'd probably kill your people inside.
Yeah, you'd probably kill anyone you put inside a capsule.
the skeletal system would go.
That'd be
It's like,
horrible.
oh my god, you were taking a nap. I'm so sorry, but now you're dead, and now you can't come back down.
Why didn't they do that with enemies like fucking Cell? Like Cell was in a house, and then they with a capsule.
Yeah,
Problem solved. He's trapped in a capsule forever and he's just trapped somewhere in like King Yama's.
It's like, hey Frieza, come into my home, have a cup of tea, crush.
Then there'd be no series.
Yeah,
There wouldn't be, and that'd be why. Why did I think of that?
Oh,
I mean, like after that, like Dragon Ball Z capsules become like a really lesser thing because nobody uses them anymore.
yeah,
Because I can fly.
because
'Cause I can-
at that point, most of this stuff doesn't really take place on Earth anyway.
Nope.
Some of it takes place in outer space, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it goes Namek and then stays on Earth.
No kidding. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, Eric. Do we ever find out the origin of the Dragon Balls? We'll get to that later.
no, I don't think we do.
Because
far as I know-
I think later in the later half of Dragon Ball.
Awesome.
Wait a minute, the Dragon Balls? Yeah, we do.
What are you talking
Hasn't
about?
Kami said he made them?
See, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure because I don't
Yeah.
have those volumes on me, so I can't check.
Yeah,
I
Kami
swear to God.
made them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it would make most sense anyway.
Okay, I wanted to make
Guardian
sure because I think they have different origin stories in the anime for some reason.
They might, but at least in terms of the manga, it basically Kami made them, and the dragon is kind of an extension of his power into the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, everything
So,
the dragon can do, Kami can do.
Yeah. mhm.
But obviously later on, Goku agrees to help Bulma, and they make their way out of the forest. And Bulma has to take a potty break. Why?
Why are we talking about this?
Why does the pterodactyl go for a girl who's trying to go to the bathroom?
He saw
Because
that
she's
vagina.
defenseless.
That seems kind of, I don't know.
It makes sense because she's busy doing something so she can't defend herself.
No
I-
pun intended. It was probably just Toriyama trying to add in more toilet humor.
Probably, I guess. How do you guys feel about her actually pissing herself at the end of the chapter? 'Cause I
I
don't
didn't
know.
expect something that like, what's the word? Just
Crude.
yes, that's the word exactly. I didn't expect something so crude.
Yeah. It was kind of funny, actually.
I thought it was kind of funny, but I could see how somebody else reading this would probably feel kind of put off by some of this humor.
Right.
Yeah, it can be a little. Toilet humor is definitely the kind of one of the bottom rungs of humor. It's not very
Because
popular.
I'll probably maybe put up a link to this article because I'm sure it's still out there. But I know for a fact that it was because of the humor, this kind of humor, and humor later on in Volume 1 that Volume 1 and the Dragon Ball manga in general actually got banned from a library in Maryland.
Speaking of libraries, I think I told you the story.
Yeah.
I know I haven't told John. I think I told you. But first time I ever read the manga for Dragon Ball was actually in my school library. And they very obviously did not read the book because it was in the anime section, and I picked it up. I was like, "Ooh, what's this?" And I was with my friend, and I showed him to him, and he's like, "Oh my god, what are we fucking reading? It's crazy." But I checked it out, and it was awkward because I skimmed most of what it was in the book, and I knew it was in it. The librarian didn't, so I was going up there like, "Here, I'm gonna check this book out. It's not bad."
I thought you were gonna say you were gonna like show the librarian what you found. Like,
kind of off
hey,
topic.
I don't appreciate this smut in my library.
Yeah,
Wow.
Even though you're like in elementary school.
but that's
Yeah, I mean,
kind of related to the topic you were saying. But
I guess nowadays, I am surprised that they would, because I've seen worse things in the cat. Like, they have gamer magazines with naked chicks in them. It's like, you can't get any more. That's not for kids' schools, and that. Kids.
You know what I think a problem is that I'm sure when some of these first volumes of Dragon Ball were first hitting library shelves, that librarians, because all of the Dragon Ball portion of the entire Dragon Ball manga is rated A for all ages.
Mm-hmm. A for adult.
which I don't get why they would rate it like that.
except this one.
What's that?
That's interesting.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the first few are teen.
Are they teen?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I'm sure I've seen a Dragon Ball volume somewhere where they rated it as A for all ages.
There are. I know the last few are.
It's later when they don't.
But I think at least the first 4 or 5 are T because of the a little bit
because of the content.
Humor. Yeah. I think once it gets to like 3 and 4, once it gets into the training and kind of away from the humor, toilet humor, that's when it starts to change. I think.
But then you have like later on, you have Krillin pulling down Bulma's shirt so Master Roshi can have a nosebleed. Yeah, which that's really funny, but it's still really disgusting.
That was.
So, what do you guys think of the first chapter overall? Just general thoughts.
It's a decent introduction to what I think will become a very
it's
obviously becomes a good story.
Very engaging. It's where it's like, I want to read more of this because it's kind of funny and it's got good stuff.
Because obviously at this point Dragon Ball isn't very plot heavy because it's mostly just comedy and just a. I mean, it does have a plot, but it's very like surface level.
Yeah, it's very
it's
let's go collect stuff to get wishes.
It's not very complex.
Yeah, let's just collect the Dragon Balls and that's it. But then the one thing that keeps it going is that there's actually many conflicts that go on. There's like, I almost got a Dragon Ball, but this fucker right here took it from me.
Yeah, I think the introduction's really good. It mixes comedy, a small bit of action, and then you have kind of the intrigue with this whole granting wishes thing. So I think it's good. Plus, it introduces two very, well, I wouldn't say deep, but interesting characters at least.
Yeah, I mean, but Bulma at least she's kind of interesting because she actually thinks. She actually has internal monologues and stuff. I don't think Goku ever has an internal monologue. Of course not.
He doesn't.
Wouldn't make any sense.
Goku doesn't do the whole thinking
Unless
process.
his internal monologue would be a cloud with a pizza in it.
Stuffed crust king.
4 + 4 = pizza.
Yes.
You can eat it in reverse.
So I kind of want to ask because obviously all three of us were introduced to the Z portion of the series first.
Yes,
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But if you weren't already introduced to that portion of the series, would you have still been interested in reading this?
Yes. I mean, I would just, I'm trying to pretend I'm not in Dragon Ball at all, and I go, ooh, what's this? I mean, it's not really like, oh, this is ridiculous, this would never happen, like, fucking Death Note or something. Like, I can get into Death Note, but this seems like something more relatable to me.
Really?
Yeah.
At least in the early stuff, I mean, people are that strong, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very Japanese. Like, anybody could, like, see, like, okay, we do this because of this, and this happened because of that. And you could get the humor, you could get the why we're doing this.
That's definitely a huge reason why I like Dragon Ball. It's not, like, over the top. It's very grounded, which I like. I don't want, like, boom, bam, explosions, and wow!
But then
this crazy.
And it's not complex.
I just had a great thought. I want to see a manga written by Michael Bay.
Oh God!
No.
The first chapter titled Explosions.
Explosions of the heart. I don't know. That's
He would have a bunch of car chases.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then the Transformers would make a cameo.
But anyway, can I answer the question now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. So what would I be into Ball if I hadn't gotten into Z? That sounds really weird. But I think I would be because, as I said, the introduction is good. It's a good first chapter. Even the first few chapters were a good pull-in. I think I would have gotten into it. Yeah, I guess I don't know. That's all I say. I think I would have gotten into it eventually.
Can I maybe present a point?
Hold on. Z definitely. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick.
No, that's fine.
But Z definitely helped me further my intrigue into it. But I think I'd be into it either way. But
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to present a point. Did anyone else have a moment like I did where you would, like, say, go to Borders or something, and you would look at the first volume of Dragon Ball, and you would, like, skim through it, but you would stare longer at the dirtier parts, and then be like, "What is this? I for some reason I want to read this."
Yeah,
like,
when I was younger, like 7th and 8th grade, that's when I first discovered the manga in the library. It was like 7th, I think it was 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. But we were all those crazy horny teenagers back then. So I was like, ooh, boobs.
I never discovered that manga. I just got it from you. But
this is the first time you've read this part of the series, John.
Yeah,
that's right. That's true.
So
you're discovering the magic.
So that's why I wanted to have you on, because I know you haven't seen much of the earlier stuff. So what do you think of it so far, as far as this first chapter is concerned? Just are you enjoying it? Is there anything you don't like? Or
I mean, I read the whole thing, so it's hard to sum up chapter 1. But
just in terms of chapter,
it's like when it starts, I was like, yes, this is how the whole thing starts, and it feels good because it's not just rushed, or there's just like when I first saw Dragon Ball Z, it's like, oh, all of a sudden there's Goku, Krillin, Piccolo, Vegeta, Trunks, this guy, and it's just like, who are all these people? They all just came in at once. But this actually introduced one character, then there's another one, and then they explain everything that's going on, so I'm just like, why are there dinosaurs?
Is that the only thing you were confused about?
What?
Why there were dinosaurs?
Well, yes.
I don't blame you. I would be confused too. I wanted to ask,
but I was more just like, this is awesome than confused, because I can accept dinosaurs, because if it's in there, then
dinosaurs are awesome, man.
That's fine.
Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Yeah, I know.
Dumb people. That's who.
Unclassy, sophisticated people. They don't like dinosaurs. They're too into their wine and cheese.
I don't much care for dinosaurs.
Where's my wine, Sheffield?
Bring me more wine and bonbons.
Where's your wine? The dinosaur fucking
bonbons. I'm sorry, truffles. Okay. This is the part of the show where we do funny voices.
Yeah, that's not actually a thing, by the way.
No, it's not. I want to make it a thing. What?
Shut up.
Oh, shut up.
No.
No. People are gonna find these really annoying.
No.
Clean my jowls.
No, it's clean my jowls.
Yeah. Okay, just one up me.
No.
Fucking asshole.
Hey, I am gonna one up you because I have a superiority complex.
Oh, you heard it here, folks.
He
has issues. He hasn't worked out yet.
You have issues. That's why I wanted to do this podcast, is to project them anyway.
Project our horrible personalities on YouTube.
I'm a big green mean machine.
Okay, now I'm being stupid.
Anyway,
what am I talking about? That's our life.
Oh man, I thought I had another question, but I wanted to ask. I think one more thing I want to bring up is that I think Toriyama does a very good job of just moving the story forward, because as far as I can tell, in my opinion, I don't think he really focuses too intently on character development.
Yeah.
Which is why I think most of these characters are very surface level. But I think because he gets rid of character development, that he really moves the story forward. That's what he focuses on.
Yeah, I did like that. I feel he has a really good pace. It's not too fast, not too slow.
But yeah,
in terms of the story, I mean.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. He does a really good job of that. I feel like, of just week to week, he really knows how to move the story forward, how to make the ball roll.
Do you have anything to add, John? We're very quiet over here.
I'm sorry,
just playing around.
What am I supposed to add?
I don't know.
The question was, how do you think the pace of the story goes?
What do you think of the pacing of the story?
I feel like I have time to absorb what's going on.
That's a good way to put it,
That's
sir.
a good way to put it. I like that.
Who knew we had our own William Shakespeare over here?
Oh yeah, Shakespeare.
Don't even compare me to him.
Yeah, I know. He's a piece of shit, so. I just
I
offended...
meant that the other way.
I see
He's a
what he-
lot more. I'm compared to
I see what you did there. So, I think the consensus here is that we like the first chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
talked about it for a good half an hour.
I think there's a bit to talk about here, but I'm out of.
Jeez, if we're sitting here talking about him killing a fish, meeting Bulma, and you know, talking about Dragon Balls, imagine how we'll talk about like the Tien and
rest
Piccolo
of them.
fights. Jesus.
You know the chapters with actual like some kind of character
With the
complexity.
basis.
Even the stuff coming up with the training, that'll be in depth, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I'd like to talk about that. But anyway, I guess if we don't have anything else to add, we all like the first chapter. That's what we think in a nutshell. So yeah.
we didn't have an ending for this show. We thought we were just going to talk for a few hours and then hopefully it'd wrap itself up.
Well, not with these chapters. No, I'm surprised we talked about this for a half hour.
Yeah.
Or hopefully
To be
that'll.
completely honest, I think talking about this for half an hour was impressive.
Or maybe a half hour. After I edit out a bunch of this stuff at the beginning and ending.
Oh, you got to keep in some of that stuff.
I'll put it at the end of the podcast or something.
Wait, didn't I get here at like 2:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got here at 2:30.
No, actually you didn't. You got here later because it was 2:40.
Oh.
Wait, what? Okay.
No. Okay. Yeah.
We should end the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, 'cause if we don't, we're gonna banter on until we realize, oh yeah, we're still recording.
I hope people don't find us annoying. Look at me
Don't
being
think
Well, I
myself-
hope they don't find you self-conscious either.
You gotta throw
Gotta have
positive
some
feelings.
bravery.
You know what? Why don't you just be host? Derek?
All right, so that's the end of
We
our
all
show.
be the
This has
host.
been.
Another day, another adventure. I really should be ending off the show. Goodbye, guys.
Bye. Leave. It's over.
You can't go home, but you can't stay here.
Turn this fucking recording off. Where's the, goddamn- Where's the fucking pause button?
Okay.
Hey, we're recording.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
We are.
Hi, internet.
No.
We're not keeping that.
No. Hey,
we're deleting this shit.
you know what other podcasters do is they record stupid stuff or outtakes so they can put it at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, I know. We're probably gonna do that. Look at this wonderful intro we have. Isn't it just
Purple
fantabulous?
pants. Why are you wearing purple pants?
Because I'm allowed. Don't tell the internet that, then they'll think I'm weird. Well, actually, I am fucking weird. but-
We don't care.
Yeah, they
I'm
won't
wearing
care.
purple too.
Hey,
It's not like people might listen to this anyway. So
Eager Raptor does weirder stuff. So, oh look, the first reference outside of this.
Oh no. We're screwed. Somebody's gonna sue us now.
can I start us off?
Oh yes, okay. This is the official beginning. So,
Okay. Not unless I put this at the end of the podcast.
just go.
Oh
We're
god.
breaking the fourth wall. The fourth wall wasn't there to begin with. I'm sorry. Anyway, you can curse on the show, by the way, but don't
fuck off.
People are gonna think this banter is not funny, and they're gonna find this annoying.
It's sad because this is kind of our actual banter.
Everybody, be quiet so I can read the summary. So our stories. That's going near the end of the podcast. You dick.